Hello, and welcome everybody to our YouTube Live with Neil Elliott, who is the co-founder and a director at Patternbank. I'm sure you're all here to know how to create the best patterns for your all-over print designs. There's so much to it, but at the same time, it's quite easy. So the most important part of this is you're here to learn, you're here to find out how to get the best designs possible. And without further ado, to make sure that you can jump right into it, let's get Neil Elliott on here.
Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great. How about you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's the evening here in London. So, yeah, just getting dark. So, yeah, quite late, but, well, not late, but evening here. So, all good, though.
Yeah, pretty much same.
Cool.
And are you ready?
Yeah, excited to share some insights and hopefully help some people on what the best ways of using all over prints and patterns. So, yeah, I'm ready for it. Okay. So just a little bit. So Printful kindly asked me to get involved in this video. So it's basically trying to look at getting the best from all over patterns. So what I thought I'd do quickly is just sort of run through me, what I've done, a little bit about Patternbank, where I'm one of the co-directors, co-founders. And then go through some of the key points, key insights into how to create exciting all over print products that you can sell through Printful. So yeah, my career history, I've worked in retail, London, Red or Dead, which is a London fashion brand. I was head of graphics for global apparel at Timberland. So that was a great insight and learned a lot about production, trends, pattern, print, and how a big super brand works and sells and is commercial. From there, I went to a big, the biggest online trend forecasting site, which is called WGSN. There, I headed up the print and graphics directory for 5 years. So looking at everything from what was trending for any brand basically that would signed up. Used to go to all the trade shows to look what was happening with new brands coming through, what patterns, what graphics were happening, trade shows, catwalks, stuff like that. And we used to basically just present all that trend forecasting to the likes of Nike and Marks and Spencer and stuff like that. So huge brands, and a real great insight for me, and a creative, very creative. So from there, I went to StyleSite, which was another version of a WGSN, a US version. From there, I worked after that at a company called Avery Dennison, where I headed up the trends and insights, working with loads of global brands. They pretty much produce all the branding and information solutions for the likes of Burberry, Levi's, Diesel, Adidas, Patagonia. So again, I would go along and go through what was happening trend-wise for print and graphics and branding. So that's sort of me as a from my side. And then going on to the next bit, which is, I'm not sure how many of you know how the textile industry works and how brands used to purchase patterns. So it used to be a very long process and quite confusing and not very good for the environment. The textile studios used to basically produce all the samples onto fabric, little swatches. Then they would put all these in suitcases and then take these suitcases to trade shows all around the globe, Italy, Paris, New York, LA. And then the buyers would go to these trade shows, look through the samples, and then choose which ones they wanted to use, and then take them away. So quite a lengthy process and not good for the environment. And we just thought there must be an easier way. So hence the new way was a company that I co-founded called Patternbank. So Patternbank is an online global marketplace for textile design, bringing together businesses and the world's leading creatives. So all online. So basically here, companies, brands could browse, shop, and download straight to their desktop. So they could explore over 100,000 exclusively licensed designs. And like I say, they were basically straight to their desktop. They could buy them, search through different categories, and then download these print-ready files that they can edit or change, and then use on their products. So much more, much simpler, faster, smarter way to actually sell textile designs. So it's not just me. There are a team at Patternbank, and we've combined our years of experience with extensive knowledge of textile design, trend forecasting, retail, manufacturing, graphic and web design. So we've got a great team that know what's happening in print and pattern and know how to deliver it to the customer via our online marketplace. Our stars of the show are our designers. So our designers are uploading every day from around the globe. We hand choose the sellers on Patternbank. So every designer and every design on there is high quality for our customers. So yeah, our designers are the stars of the show, and with the amount of designers we've got a big breadth of different styles that you can actually purchase, patterns you can purchase. So from sort of contemporary to brushstroke to digital. So we've got a massive selection. So that's sort of Patternbank. We were approached by Printful a year ago or so to basically supply Printful with premium patterns that you guys or their customers could use on their massive product catalog. So basically what I thought I'd do is just go through some key points that I'm going to touch on today. Towards the end, I'm going to sort of show a quick demo of how quick you can use the Printful product category catalog and their design maker to actually create a all over pattern. So it's really quick, really easy. So I'll do a quick demo. We've got some product to show you as well that we've had printed up. So I just thought I'd run through these. So which all over pattern? You know, there are thousands of different all over patterns. So I'm just going to quickly give you a sort of overview of how to choose the best pattern. Always think about your brand. So I'm going to touch on that. So not every pattern is perfect for every brand. So we'll look at that. Also thinking about your customer, looking at the color, design and scale of a pattern as well, which is right for your brand and your customer. And then to know the market as well, looking at sort of trends and competitors and stuff like that, how to sort of shape and steer you into the right choice for the pattern you want to use on your product. So yeah, which pattern? So there are, you know, hundreds of thousands of different patterns that you can choose from florals, which are obviously great for women's wear or, you know, active wear, interiors, gift wear, down to geometrics, which again could work on active wear or gift wear or stationery. Tropicals, obviously swimwear. So it's very hard and can be quite confusing to work out which pattern is right for you and which pattern is right for your brand, and obviously which pattern is trending at the moment and is going to sell for you. So I've just sort of selected some of the categories that you can go through and work out. Okay, animal prints could be great for our brand or for our product, but I think it does go back to the actual your brand and think about your brand, think about the brand DNA, because whatever pattern you choose has to be right for that brand. So whether it's kids wear, you're after a graphic, sort of bold, punchy colored print, or you're after more of a sophisticated women's wear design. You know, you've got to think about how your brand is and what your brand is and the message behind your brand. So I think that's key to obviously where you're going to start and which print you're going to pick and choose. There's also a thing of like choosing what product offering you do. So you could go and do everything, but I wouldn't advise that, and I don't think it's a good way to go forward. What you want to do is focus on a certain product category. whether it's activewear or swimwear or interiors or kidswear, and then really focus on that, and that will help you work out what pattern will be the best pattern for you to actually choose and use in your product. So yeah, I wouldn't do everything for your brand. I would try and focus the brand's DNA and then work out what product offering you want to go for, and stick with one product area to start off with, especially to start off with. Also think about your customer. Think about the brand loyalty. You want to serve your customer, and you need to look at your customer and work out who the customer is, what your brand is, so you're not giving them the wrong idea with the wrong all over print or the wrong brand message. So think about the brand, the DNA, your customer as well. Always look at your customer, what they're after, what they need. And then that will help you focus a lot more on what all over print you want. And then when you get to the next stage, it's really looking at color. Look at color trends, look at the design styling, whether you want geometric, whether you want very tight patterns. You've got to really look at the design and think whether that fits for your brand, and your customer will be happy with that. So you can see sort of like up there in the top image, you've got sort of the placement sort of print, which is sort of like quite big, and then you've got a smaller one at the bottom where it's more spatial print. So think about scale as well. So sometimes you might you see a print, it's massive, but it might not be quite right. You might need to look at scaling that print down, or look at the size of the actual repeat print. So for me as well, I think to know your market, so look at trends and your competitors. So it's very important to see what's going on. So have a look at sort of the what's happening online. Have a look at trends. Look at Pinterest. It's a great way to find inspiration and direction for a brand or for a pattern collection. Look at the catwalk. Look at online retail safaris. So go through and look at your competitors, who your competitors are. Check what they're doing online, what prints they're using, the sort of tone of voice that they've got on the prints. Visit trade shows if you can. But yeah, you've definitely got to do your research and look at what patterns are trending, or what patterns in your particular products area are trending, and then research that. But be original as well. Obviously, have your own brand DNA and use those patterns as your own unique style, basically. But yeah, definitely trends, and look at competitors, so you're not putting something into the market that's not relevant. And like I say, I think utilizing Printful's product catalog and their the design maker tool is a fantastic and easy way of getting some exciting all over prints onto your products that you can then sell, and then hopefully repeat order and sell more. And using the premium all over patterns to create exciting commercial product for your brand is really key as well. So I've just gone through and looked at some of the product catalog. Whoops. No, not yet. Yeah, I've just looked at the product catalog from Printful, using their design maker to create these all over print on demand products. So again, looking at activewear, I was looking at the trends that are coming through on activewear, looking at competitors, and key trends we're seeing are sort of abstract shapes, bold animal skins, brush strokes, marble, and pretty florals. So I've just chosen some of the premium designs here, and then taken them through Design Maker and shown you what you can actually create in the activewear area. Same again on swimwear. So again, using all the Printful mock-ups once you've designed into it, and used the all over patterns, chosen the right ones with the key trends. Again, looking at some key trends for swimwear. Obviously, tropicals are huge. Graphic florals like the lady there on the right, border prints, bold abstracts, and playful geos. So some sort of key trends coming through for swimwear. So again, using these the product catalog from Printful, and then just using the design maker to create these. Menswear, again, some more masculine looking prints, but these tees here, so you've got like small tropical prints or palm trees. Snakes and skulls are massive as well, that you can do for all over prints. All over palm leaves. There's some brush sort of abstract form shape there on the trousers, and then camouflage for the hoodie, which I think really works really well. And then these are just some of the other products that they've got in their range. You've got that are ready for all over prints. So you could look at bag designs, footwear, there's kids wear t-shirt, yoga mats, loads of the tumblers and water carriers, and then Converse shoes as well, or the sneaker ideas there. So loads of things that you can basically product wise that can fit with your brand, and then choosing the right premium pattern to use straight on it. So I thought it would be a great idea just to have a quick little demo and show you how quickly you can get one of the all over prints onto the garment. So here's I've just gone into the dashboard, looking at the product catalog. So you've got loads of stuff here that you can use. What you're looking for is something that's got all over print on it. That means you can actually print onto that garment or product. So I'm going to go down to women's wear. I'm going to go to leggings, sticking on the active sort of tip. So here's one of the leggings. It's got the all over print yoga leggings. So what I'm going to do is start a new order, just hypothetically just create one now. So what it does, it opens up the design maker, and this is where you can drop in the all over print. So I'm going to do there are quick designs here, which are sort of more basic sort of free designs that you can use. But if you go to the one underneath, which is premium, so these are the ones that Patternbank and Printful have worked together with, selecting some of our designers' strongest designs, and these can be used on all of the all over pattern prints. So basically here you've got a large selection of different things, geometrics, more kids wear looking designs, very graphic, where there's some painterly looking designs as well, more abstract. So I'm thinking on the activewear, maybe let's have a look at doing like a tropical sort of palm leaf print. So if I just select on that, click on that, what it'll do, it'll just drops it straight into the legging shape. So it's the front and the back. So what I want to do is see here that you've got the scale. So when I was talking about choosing the design, choose the right design, then you want to check the scale. So obviously that is massive. So what's a good idea to do is to actually scale down. So underneath here, there's a little slider you can scale down and get it so it's a bit more of a relevant trending print size, pattern size. So you can see here that it's not filling the whole garment. So what you need to go up to is this little thing here says pattern, that's got a little red dot. You click on that, and then the first one here is block repeat. And what that does, all of the premium designs are all seamless tiled designs. So you click on that, the block print, and it basically seamlessly tiles that together. So that's a repeat there now, seamless repeat. So I'm going to get the scale down to say 16. So what I do now is go to the front waist. So I'm going to fill in this bit here. So again, go down to the premium, click on the same pattern. It shows you at the top. Again, scale that down to the same size that I had before. You need to again see where the white bit there, so you need to make sure that that is a block repeat. So that's the key area there, to make sure that you put the repeat into a block repeat, because if you don't, you're going to have white lines around it. So that's that bit. So now I'm going to do the back. So I'm going to do the back panel here. So again, same thing, nice and quick. Chuck the print in there, scale it down again. Make sure it's in the block repeat so I don't have any white fabric showing. So again, that's fully repeated. And then what you basically, that is it. So I can now go to the 3D view, and that has created a all over activewear tropical print, scaled to the size I wanted and ready to go basically. So that would be the next stage of obviously you can spend a lot more time finessing it and choosing the pattern, but just to show you how easy it is to create an exciting all over print with all of Printful's catalog of product is amazing. So yeah, just want to show you. And I think we've got some product that we've actually had printed up and is back in the studio.
Mm-hmm. Right. So since you mentioned that, just to show you guys that it's not just like a mock-up thing, that they look great online, but then when you receive them, they don't quite look the same. We've gotten some products printed out. This you might recognize, but you know, let's go through them one by one. This right here is a kid's crew neck t-shirt. As you can see, this print is probably a little bit more child-friendly. It has bright colors. The tropical vibe is still there, and we've got little leopards going on over there. The print extends past the collar, which is great because it's not like you have white showing all around. Same thing for the sleeves as well. And it's just really cute. I really like it. And next, we've got a one-piece swimsuit. Once again, the fabric is exactly the same as it looks online. And the pattern's super fun. It's scaled up really, really well. Like there's no weird pattern seams around. And you can really see that even in real life, it looks not different than anything that you would get like just in a store, you know? Just in those 2 minutes, the way Neil showed you, you can make a fully ready product with a really great looking pattern.
Great color on that as well. You know, I think that, you know, from the actual pattern to the actual garment, you're not losing any of the vibrancy and the color as well. So it's great.
Right. Like, especially, it probably makes me look super pale right now because I'm all, you know, in creams and stuff. But for the summer, especially, like you really want the super, super bright colors, especially like right now with maximalism going on. And the next product, right, is the yoga leggings that you saw previously. And interestingly, like the way you saw in the 3D mock-up model, you see the pattern throughout the waistband. So it doesn't just go up to the waistband and you have some white showing when you're wearing them, but it literally like is tiled super seamlessly. There's no lines, as you can kind of see, right? And it doesn't have to be a huge, huge print to fit on the garment, and it's super easy. I don't know. I think to me that's
scaling on that. You know, you can take it smaller if you want. You know, if the brand is more, you're after more of a smaller print. This is like larger scale, but I think it still pops and looks great.
Right, I totally agree. So the last product that we've got is actually another pair of leggings, but these ones have pockets, which I think is super exciting. So this is like a smaller print right here. It's kind of like a leopard cheetah print, and you've got pockets right here. Once again, the pattern extends like past just the edge of the product. It goes quite into the seam, the pocket there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. You kind of have to dig in to even get to the white fabric. I don't know. This one's probably my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, there's a lot, you know, in the market. I've seen a lot of, you know, competitors, and it's definitely the animal prints are definitely trending. You know, you could actually change that as well to the brighter sort of animal print, you know, where you've got like pops of color would work really well. But the monochrome is another big trend coming through as well, which I'm going to talk about in a bit.
Yeah, so why don't we actually get to that? Because what I'm super excited about is finding out what is actually on trend.
Okay.
So how about we pop back to Neil's presentation?
Okay. Okay, so yeah, just also Printful asked, what trends were happening at the moment. I've just come back from Premier Vision actually in Paris, which is one of the big textile and fabric shows that any brand should go to for fabric and designs and looking at what's trending, what's happening. So they picked up on a couple of trends which are within this these slides. So looking at the first trend, we're looking at black and white. So black and white is a very key trend coming through for this autumn winter into next year. So you're looking at geometric layouts, contrast patterns, bold optical diagonals, oversized scale stripes, and reverse black and white. So we've seen a lot of prints on Patternbank and designers working into this, creating some stunning black and white, powerful print designs, which can be used for quite a few different product sectors, including women's wear, menswear, swimwear, giftwear. So a real key trend coming through for a lot of different product areas. Another trend coming through is naive illustrations. So this is looking at sort of hand-drawn, very sort of sketched and doodled and not precise artworks. So we're looking at sort of linear portraits, monochromic sketches, magic marker doodles, life drawings, penciled tropical foliage as well. So this comes through from sort of autumn winter into sort of spring summer as well. So you can see this coming through in different areas and different seasons. So looking at seasons as well, when you're actually choosing your designs, have a think about what season you're going to be producing for. So whether it's a spring summer or fall winter, whether there's a key thing happening, a key event or key seasonal event like Halloween or Valentine's or something like that, there's definitely prints that you can use, whether you take the trend ideas and do it as naive or choose a design that's got a sort of naive look to it, illustration look to it. You can actually focus your all over prints for different seasons on different times of the year as well. So have a look at that. Start structuring as well when you're releasing your all over patterns, garments, just to work them in with the right season. So I think that's a key factor when you're designing. Trend 3 is nature's texture. So look into nature basically in sort of an abstract sort of form. Trends and bark was another major trend that came through at PV for autumn winter 24-25. So this is something that is happening sort of it's in the catwalk, so it's happening for autumn winter, but it's going to carry on. The PV guys are seeing it as a big trend. So looking at nature, looking at texture, it's a sort of abstract, it's new forms of animal skin, sort of aged surfaces. So texture in nature's texture is a big thing as well coming through. And then the fourth trend, just for 2024, is something that we've seen coming through is playful geos. So looking at geometric designs, but they could be sort of more handmade or painted. So it's not so sharp and graphic. It's a bit more playful. It's a bit more fun. Again, could be great for kids wear. Could be great for gift wear, interiors, accessories. So a real strong trend that we've seen coming through, and it's going to carry on coming through to next year as well. So that's one of the key trends that we're seeing coming through, again mentioned at the PV and seen on the catwalk as well. So hopefully that's of interest to you. So my thing of growing your brand with exciting all over prints. Just three key takeaways. Focus on all over prints that are right for your brand. You know, that's, I think, really important to focus on that all over print, which is just right for your brand. 2, research trends and competitors. Always look at what's going on, whether you're down in the store, looking online, going to a trade show, looking at the catwalk, just flicking through a new magazine. Just keep an eye on trends for your specific area, product area, is a key factor that you need to carry on doing. So yeah, keep a look at trends and your competitors as well, because you'll know what they're selling is doing well. And then 3 is to use and utilize Printful's premium all over patterns to help drive your sales. You know, you can really elevate a product design with a trend on pattern. And I think that's the way forward if you want to really excite your web page or your store. Get some really exciting prints, all over prints is the way to go. And using Printful's design maker to create those, like I showed earlier, is a really easy way. And that's hopefully that's of interest. And yeah, I think if there's any questions, I think there possibly might be. I'll try and answer.
There sure are. And honestly, like, I don't know if it's, the most exciting thing ever for literally every person. But for me personally, patterns are genuinely one of the most fun parts of fashion, and sometimes some of the most challenging. Like, if I were to sit down and create a product, I think it would be quite easy to like come up with like maybe a slogan to put on a t-shirt or something, but patterns sometimes seem daunting, especially like lining them. So I feel like this is like a perfect walkthrough of everything that a person would need to know to really get into patterns. But I won't keep anybody waiting any longer. We'll get to audience questions in a second. I have them right here. So, and the very first one we got was, how is it possible to create a pattern that is curved, like one that would fit on a skater dress?
Well, I think you can. Most patterns work on most garments. So when you say it's curved, you can work the pattern into that curve. So I would say that it's doable and it would work. So I think, again, talking about what was before, is testing products as well. I think it's a great idea to create some products on through Printful on the design maker and test these products. Get one sent through, see how it looks. You might need to tweak it slightly, change the scale, move it. You know, where I showed you where you could move the actual print as well, so you can actually move it around. If there's an area that doesn't look quite right on that panel, then you can actually move the print so it's not such an obvious line or shape that distorts. That would probably be the best way. So you probably need to test it, see how it looks, maybe adjust it if need be, and then try it again.
Yeah, and that's why we have the mock-ups, especially the 3D view mock-ups that you can kind of like manipulate and see how things work. And we also have sample order discounts. Like, if you really, really want to see how a product looks like in real life, you can just, order it.
The mock-ups are amazing. You know, the 3D one that I didn't show you, but there are, you've got, I don't know how many different mock-ups you guys do, but there is the thing where you can see about 4 or 5 different mock-ups to actually view that and see what it looks like before, like you say, before you actually get it printed up. So yeah, definitely play around with it, use the mock-ups and the 3D tool to test it.
Yep, and I hope that answered whoever's question that was. And we've got a couple more. Yeah, so the next one is, one thing is when you design on a flat surface, but from your experience, are there specific patterns that work well for all body types?
Yeah, I'd say the marble prints are good. Tie-dye marble, it works really well. Also as well, quite dense repeat patterns. So if you've got a lot going on in sort of probably not ditzy, not small scale, but maybe sort of medium scale, but with quite a bit of density to the pattern, I think would work really well.
Yeah, because that's kind of like universal. It
Yeah.
can, really work around every curve and accentuate stuff. It can really look great.
And obviously stay away from stripes, I think, is sort of an area that you probably wouldn't want to go down. But geometrics can work because there's so many different geometrics, different styles that have got different, they're not very straight, or see, and much more movement in them. So geometrics could work as well.
Yep. And I honestly, like, one of my favorite things is seeing how kind of patterns actually lie on a body and lie on a garment. Like, I think that gives it a bunch of movement that it wouldn't otherwise.
Again,
Right.
your mock-ups, do a fantastic job of showing that on different body types. So yeah, again, the mock-ups come up. They're really good to use.
Super happy to hear that, genuinely. Right. So let's get to some more questions. How do you find the trends coming up?
So yeah, you'd have to look at, there's a number of things. When I was at WGSN and at Patternbank, we do trends on Patternbank as well. We look at everything really. We try and sort of we're sort of trend sponges, where we look at anything from new emerging brands to catwalk, to new catwalk brands, to Pinterest, to art exhibitions going on. There's certain things that you sort of start seeing, that you can sort of join the dots and say, okay, that trend's coming through. I've seen it on this street brand. I've seen it on the catwalk. There's an exhibition going on. Someone will, in a films thing. There's loads of different things. Film styles as well. So yeah, it's looking at not just one thing. You have to look at everything. And then Pinterest is amazing for creating mood boards, as well as sort of like finding new trends and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say, look online, look at sort of emerging brands, look at catwalks, have a look at fashion news. If it's not fashion you're into, it is not your area, then look at different interiors or giftware stuff that's happening. So yeah, I'd say you have to look at everything really, and then slowly but surely you'll start seeing a certain thing, a certain color coming through that you keep seeing, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's coming through. So it's something to just, and then you maybe in Pinterest you have a board, a mood board with that style, and it starts growing then. So yeah, you're looking at everything really. It's not just one thing.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have this idea of that trends come up kind of the way that the Devil Wears Prada movie portrays it, of like a boardroom of people select the color cerulean, and then that's the new trend. But there's not really like this playbook.
No, there isn't. You have to just look at loads of different things. Like I say, art, film, catwalk, fashion, product design. There's loads of things you look at. Music style, that sort of stuff. So you're looking at a bit of everything, really.
Mm-hmm. And I know that it might be daunting for some people, but it's really worth it to figure out what's going on.
If you've got, that's what I was saying about try not to do everything. Try and focus your brand onto one thing. To say if it's activewear or I don't know, or giftware or stationery or something, focus on those areas and really sort of laser focus on what trends are happening in those areas, rather than looking at what's happening in menswear and women's wear and giftware and home and interiors. I think it's be good just to focus on one area, one product area. That's probably the most successful way of tackling it.
For sure. So we've got 2 tips in one,
Yeah.
And then we've got, okay, my startup brand is focusing on more than 3 all over print wares. Should I stop and focus on one, or I can continue? What would be the best for me? It's kind of like a natural segue to the second question.
Yeah. So I suppose it is, if the 3 prints have they got a similar story, or if they've got a similar sort of feel to them, whether it's a summer print or a tropical or I don't know what what print they're actually choosing. But yeah, I'd say it's fine to do 3 prints, but again, they have to be right for your brand, so if you're a kids wear brand, they need to have that sort of fun element, vibrant, colorful, or if it's more of a sophisticated brand, then go down the sophisticated sort of route of the pattern. But you can focus on three prints. That's completely fine.
And we've also got how do I make sure my all over print products don't look too busy or tacky?
Yeah, I think, again, mock-ups are good, but looking at what trends are happening as well, you should be able to move away from sort of getting something that's completely off trend or too tacky. So keep an eye on what's going on with your competitors and what sort of things are trending, what you're seeing in stores, what you're seeing in sort of quite influential sort of stores or high-end stores as well, the designers doing, to keep away from sort of like tacky, not nice prints.
Yeah, and actually we've got just a question kind of like leaning into the trend idea. Which recent trend surprised you the most?
Probably the mushroom trend. I don't know if you've seen that one coming through, but yeah, obviously the mushroom, it's something that actually we picked up on quite a few seasons ago, but it was a bit sort of wacky and quite mad, but it's sort of taken quite a nice journey of quite nice looking, that whole thing of the nature's texture sort of stuff. You've got the sort of psychedelic-y sort of mushroom side of things, 70s, 60s, 70s, but then it's quite nice that there's more sort of sophisticated sort of mushroom prints coming through, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I like mushroom prints now.
Yeah, like it kind of nicely fits into the whole transition into these more like dopamine inspired and happiness inspired trends,
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'd say mushroom was probably the one that shocked me the most, but I like it. It's cool.
There was also a frog trend a little while ago. That one was fun.
Yeah, I did see a bit of the frog trend coming through. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, there's also a question. Are there any all over print design trends going out of fashion that I should avoid? So like currently, what is like going out, on the way out?
I was going to say sort of tie-dye, but the thing with tie-dye, it still seems to be, it's morphed into a slightly different tie-dye effect now. So this has probably been going for 4 or 5 seasons, the whole sort of tie-dye effect prints. But they were quite obvious at first, and now they've become quite sophisticated. So they're looking slightly different. They're either sort of the scale really scaled up, so they don't look so as an obvious sort of tie-dye. But yeah, they're still around. They're still around. So I'm not going to say that don't do tie-dye, because it's still quite a big thing at the moment. And like I say, it's taken a slightly different look and feel as well. So it's, like I say, more of a sort of sophisticated effect to it. I just saw recently actually some menswear that was using tie-dye, but really large scale, so you couldn't really tell it was tie-dye. It was more abstract sort of print effect.
Yeah, and it's leaning sometimes into this like gradient idea almost,
exactly.
right? Like when they're quite scaled up.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, next we've got what trend do you see coming back from your experience? Is it possible to predict when a trend will resurface? And are there any examples?
I sort of start seeing a lot of sort of bandana prints seems to be coming back again, which something I covered at WGSN years ago. But yeah, border prints, scarf prints have been around for a bit, but we've started to see the bandana sort of effect prints, whether they're sort of like taken apart or just select a small selection of the bandana. But I can see that's possibly something that could be coming through, which should from quite a long time ago. So yeah, bandana prints I think could be something coming through.
Yeah, it's kind of like reminiscent of several 90s trends coming back, right?
Exactly.
And it extends into patterns.
Yeah. And like I say, it's what we're seeing is not the full bandana, so it's just parts of it, so just the edging or the border of it, so which I think is quite a nice new fresh sort of take on it as well.
Yeah, deconstructed bandana.
Exactly.
And then actually there are certain classic patterns that always come up, like camo and plaid, kind of like what we're both wearing. Do you have any personal favorites?
I love a camo. I love a camo. You can't knock a camo. Just the whole history of it, how it's been reinterpreted. How, I don't know if you've heard of Maharishi, how they did like a camo book, which was amazing. If you're into camo, it's a book to have. But yeah, just going through everything, the history of the camo, the reinventing the camo, mixing it up, changing the color. But yeah, camo for me, I've got a camo print, which is a different style, but yeah, I think camo for me is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be used for many product types as well. It's not just a menswear sort of thing. You're seeing it go into activewear, maybe in slightly different color hues or whatever. But yeah, it can emerge in different product sectors.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a big, like, somewhat recent development is the lean into like genderless fashion and like unisex fashion.
Yeah.
What are the best unisex patterns?
Probably camo's pretty good, I'd say. Camo. The more marble prints, I think, could work again on that side of things. So yeah, I think camo, marble. Anything can go really. I wouldn't say it's stuck into one certain pattern. Florals, vibrant florals. With another trend coming through is sort of shadowy florals, which could work. On that side of things as well. So yeah, it could be a good part of it as sort of shadow effect florals, which are quite cool at the moment.
Right, like it reminds me of like a winter flower or like a grungy flower.
Yeah, a bit grungy. Yeah, definitely. You've hit it there.
Kind of like coming in with the like mid 2010s and the 90s.
Yeah,
like a revival of both of those.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right. So I'm not seeing any more questions. Did anything like come up for you that you felt like you didn't cover as much during the Q&A?
No, I think I touched on the seasons as well, looking at different key times of the year. I think I've covered that, so that's good. Went through trends. Talked about brand, talked about the customer, because that's the customer's important. But yeah, I think all over pattern is a great way of getting some real interest in your brand and in your product. So yeah, obviously I'm all for all over patterns. But I would be.
All right, then. In that case, I hope everyone's written everything down. But if you haven't, this live will still be available after. And just thank you so much, especially like for lending your time and for lending your expertise.
That's
and where can they find you?
Sorry?
Where can they find you, like after this live?
LinkedIn, I'm on. Neil Elliott on LinkedIn. Come by patternbank.com is good for patterns and trends. And also, our patterns that are on the Printful Design Maker as well in the premium area. Get them to have a look at that as well. But just LinkedIn's probably a good area. Any other questions or anything?
Wonderful. So make sure to get on Patternbank, make sure to start playing around with your own designs. And thank you so much, Neil, for coming. And thank you to everyone for watching.
Thanks for having me.